You are listening to the Run the Rack Outdoors podcast, where we take an all-in, leave no doubt approach to all things adventure hunting. From the big woods to the high country. How about that? Let's learn together as we discuss with our expert guests on what it takes to be successful in the backcountry. I'm your host, Weston Homa. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, thanks again for tuning in. Real quick one here today. I'm solo, and I just walked through a real-world 5-year strategy as a non-resident on how to get Western hunting tags. The focus is primarily on archery for elk and mule deer, but I also lay out some good fallback options as well. And I know how intimidating getting a tag can be as a non-resident. This is really for somebody that has no knowledge base of applications, points, or anything like that. I really walk through world scenarios that I think that can help anybody, not just starting out, but maybe like you're a few years in the game and you're just looking for a few little extra nuggets, because that's the name of the game anymore. If you want to get out and do these things, you got to get a tag. So here's a real world plan. Here's a scenario for the next 5 years on how to get tags. I hope you like it. I think some of these shorter episodes periodically throw in at some point later in the weeks, like maybe on Thursdays, just here and there where I think I can add some valuable information to the listener. And then obviously on Tuesdays still we'll always have the full-length episodes where I bring on a guest. So here we go. 5-year strategy, non-resident, all how to get Western hunting tags. I hope you guys like these type episodes. Enjoy. Let me know what you think and have a great rest of the week. Later. Hey everybody. Thanks for watching the video. The intent of this video today is how you can get a Western hunting tag for the next 5 years. Now, if you're like me, I listen to a ton of podcasts on how to hunt the West and keep up to date with everything going on. I'm a non-resident myself. I'm from Pennsylvania. I've been hunting the West for the past 5 years or so. And if you're just getting into it now and you want to consume some content and learn like how to get a tag, how to make it happen, you're going to hear a lot of negativity. Tags are only going to get harder to draw. It might actually even seem almost impossible anymore. I do agree, obviously, yes, tags are getting harder to draw and harder to obtain, but there's still a ton of opportunity to hunt the West. And I'm going to show you how you can too, as a non-resident, very simply. I know a lot of the draws and the lotteries and all the states are different. It sounds overwhelming. I'm going to show you how you can get a tag for the next 5 years. Okay, it's really not that difficult. I'm going to break everything down for you, make it super simple. And this is, everything I'm about to say is essentially what I do. Now, over the years, I've been building up more of these points and other draw systems in other states. So my next 5 years isn't exactly going to look like this because I have a lot of points and everything because I've just been in the game longer than somebody starting today. But essentially, this is what I do. Most of these years will line up with what my tag strategies are. So, let's get started. All right, so for the next 5 years, if you want to hunt the West as a non-resident, here's what I would do. And just to set the scope of this video, this is for the guy maybe coming from back east or down south with really not a lot of knowledge base that just says, hey, I just want to get started hunting the West. So I'm going to keep it very simple, and maybe you only got a week or two off work and that's all you're willing to allocate, and you're like, hey man, I don't understand any of these draw systems. I don't really get this game, all these different states. Like, I just want to go hunt elk. I just want to at least, maybe you could just go for that first time just to see how you'll like it, and then, go from there. So obviously, if you're watching and you've been in this game long enough, you're going to understand. I understand I'm probably going to get comments on this video saying, oh, by 2030, you're not going to be able to do that, or that tag might not be there. I understand that. That's all part of the game. So things are subject to change. But don't let that stop you from trying to get a tag today. Let's just focus on year 1, and then we're going to build a little bit from there, and we'll at least have a strategy for the next 5 years, and when things change, you just call an audible. That's what I've been doing, and that's how people that have been in this game for a long time, that's what they do to keep getting tags. Again, this is for the non-resident. If you're a resident of a Western state, you're obviously going to have a little bit easier time getting tags. We're only going to talk about over-the-counter or general tags. So we're not talking about a limited entry tag that's going to take a bunch of points, or landowner tags. We're not going to get into that, or even bonus points. You'll see. The general tags, I will have to define what a point is, because some take, just like 1 or 2 points, and I'll explain that in a minute. And again, starting from 0. This is the guy that says, I don't know anything about hunting the West, how to get a tag, or anything like that, starting with not just 0 points, but really 0 knowledge base. And that's okay. I'm going to explain everything. Okay, so here we go. Going to keep it very simple. And then when we're all done, I'm going to talk about some fallback options. If any of these years don't really line up, there's some fallback options over the counter, great opportunities, and I'll save that for the end. Okay, here we go. Year 1. All right. Weston, I don't know anything about hunting the West, and I just want to go hunt. What can I do? So we're going to start in 2026, because right now it's 2025, kind of after a lot of the application seasons. So maybe you're watching this later in the year of 2025, and like you just want to go. Well, here's what I would do. So for the fall of 2026, the first state to go on sale or draw or anything is Idaho. And what's great about Idaho right now is there's no points, none of that. The way to get a tag as a non-resident in Idaho, and this is just going to be your over-the-counter non-resident tag, is there's going to be a day in December. It's usually around December 1st or something like that. You need to do your research. You can look on things like Go Hunt and Hunt and Fool, just like their free versions or whatever. You don't have to do anything. Just look online. Find out what day this is going to be. Let's say it's December 1st, and this is 2025. Yeah, it's that far back, 9-10 months or whatever, from when you want to go in 2026. So this is the first date you're going to look at. And this is for elk and deer. So this is when the elk and deer tags go on sale for non-residents. All you're going to do that day is you create an account on Idaho Fish and Game. You can do that before this day. But then you're going to log in on this day, and that's when they go on sale. Now, this isn't a guarantee, because what you're going to do is you're going to log in and you're going to get put in a queue. And if you're number 50,000 in the queue, forget it. But if you're number 5,000, 6,000, that's what I was this past year, and I picked up an elk tag that, you know, it's nothing special. It's something. I'm excited to go. We'll see. The year before I picked up a deer tag, I was 20,000 in the queue, and I was able to have a good deer hunt. So, Idaho, that would be your first choice. Now, say if this fails, and we'll go to a realistic scenario. So say you log in this day. This is your 2026. We're just going to have an example scenario for every year. You're going to then, say you got number 50,000 in the queue. You're not going to be able to get a tag. So that first year, dang it, nothing in Idaho. We're going to move to Colorado. So Colorado's draw is April 1st. That's what it is for 2025. 2026, it's going to be one of those first Tuesdays in April. So you're going to go on Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and you're going to put in an application for let me back up. Colorado used to have over-the-counter archery elk tags. So you used to be able to just drive out to Walmart, buy an elk tag, and go archery elk hunting. You can't do that anymore. Also, their mule deer are also all in the draw. But for right now, for Colorado, it's not going to take any points or anything. But you're going to have to go into Colorado's draw, and you're going to pick one of these old units. And I'll show on the screen here, it's right in the digest, all the units where you're just going to go in as a non-resident, and 0 points. That means you don't have any points or nothing. As long as you fill out that application, you're probably going to get it. I'd say these next couple years, those former archery over-the-counter units, you're probably going to get with 0 points, no problem. So say that's what we do first. And then come May or June, the draw comes out, and boom, you're hunting elk in Colorado year 1 in 2026. You didn't have any points, you didn't have anything. So we're not even going to talk about buying points or anything. That's all you had to do there, okay? So that's year 1. Colorado, archery elk. You had 0 points. You didn't know what you were doing, but you filled out the app on April 1st. You got the tag. Okay, so now 2027. Here's what I would do. You went archery elk hunting in Colorado. Maybe you didn't get one, but you had a hell of a time, and you want to keep doing this. I would then start over. And you want to go hunt again the following year. So I'd go back to the Idaho system in 2027, okay? So now we're back in the Idaho system, and this would be on December we'll call it 1st. Again, that year you're going to have to check. That's when their elk and deer tags go on sale. There's rumors that, yeah, this system's probably going to change or whatever. We'll keep an eye on that. But again, for the sake of this video, I'm just showing opportunities that are out there today. Again, 0-point system, nothing like that. You're just going to log into Idaho Fish and Game, and you're going to see what number you get in the queue. Oh my gosh, this year we got in. We're at number 5,000. So you sit, you leave your computer on for maybe like an hour or so, and you're number 5,000, and you get finally in line. Now, not the best elk tags are going to be available, but there should be several elk zones still available. So there you go. Elk in Idaho, that's your 2027. And this is an archery elk A tag. So we archery hunted elk in Colorado in 2026, and then we archery elk hunted in Idaho in 2027. Here's what we're going to do. So we got that tag in December of 2026. We're not just going to like sit on our hands for a whole year and do nothing. When that April, remember that April deadline comes up in Colorado, during that time, we're going to go back in here, and this is when we're going to buy points because we want to go back to Colorado one day. So we're also this year going to buy a Colorado elk. You probably can't read this, but elk and deer point. So right now we're sitting on 1 point elk and 1 point deer. So that same day in April, that's when you can go in and buy a point, okay? So that's those points now, that's what sets you up in the future. Think about it, you get a point is your position in line. And every year you can get 1 point. So every year you can bump up an extra point in line. And essentially, yes, the more points you have, the better areas and opportunities you're going to have to hunt. So the essence of getting tags in the West is, yes, buy points. I skipped that in the first year because I didn't even want to confuse anybody. I think people just need to go out and do it and figure out if this is what they want to do. But now, since we elk hunted in Colorado, and we got this Idaho elk tag, we're all excited. So this April of 2027, we're going to go back in. We already have an account for Colorado Parks and Wildlife. We're just going to buy the elk and deer point, okay? So in 2028 now we've got 2 years of elk hunting in Colorado and Idaho. Maybe we killed a good bull at this point, and this is something we're going to do forever. So 2028, now here's what we can do. Sure, we can go back into the Idaho system. Probably by then things might change, but that's okay. Maybe they don't. But I would go back into here, see your luck. But for the sake of something new, in 2028, what do we have right now? We have 1 elk point in Colorado and 1 deer point in Colorado as well. Here's what I would do. Looking at previous years in Colorado, the mule deer draw, yes, there's been point creeps, meaning it's been harder and harder to get. Like areas that took 2 points last year might take 3 points this year and 4 points next year. And that's what point creep is when people talk about point creep. It's always harder and harder to get a tag because like you're always chasing. But from what I've seen, the Colorado archery deer does not creep as much as the rifle hunt because a lot of people like the rifle hunt. So a lot of units right now in Colorado, I shouldn't say a lot. There's definitely an opportunity with just 1 point for mule deer in Colorado to go on a high country archery deer tag. Now this is a really hard hunt. You gotta love to hike, you gotta love the mountains, and you gotta love like getting after it a little bit. But if that's you, and that's what I love to do, I would shoot to do this in 2028. Okay? Somebody might be watching this and be like, oh, well, you could have even bought a mule deer point here in 26, and then you'd have 2. Sure, could have totally did that. I kind of bypassed that, but that would be my goal for 28. Definitely a tag I see attainable for the non-resident in 2028. So, I also wanted to throw this in 2028. So now we love hunting the West, right? I wanted to make sure I put this on. At this point, we got 3 years here. 3 years. During this time, we're becoming a student of the game. We're listening to podcasts. We're talking to more guys about hunting the West. And you want to broaden your point portfolio, essentially. You want to look at other states. What do other states have for drawing tags? Now, there's some tough states that you might even have a hard time ever catching, like the limited entry elk tag in Utah. I mean, there's a chance. If you want to figure all that stuff out, there's a chance. But I'm trying to just keep this simple for right now, the next 5 years. Here's what I would start doing in 2028. Pay attention to this one. Montana. So Montana is a great state to hunt elk for an opportunity at a bull. It's an opportunity state. Right now, here's what's going on in Montana, and I just checked on this. Let me say this first. We're going to buy a point. So we're going to buy a point this year in 2028 in Montana, as we also, we put in the Colorado archery deer draw, and we got our deer tag. We're also going to buy this point, again, like I said, in Montana. So how Montana works is there's no elk or deer point just for their general tag. It's just, you just buy one preference point. That's all you can do. It just says preference point, $100, buy it. Because as of right now in Montana, so it only takes 2 points in Montana to pretty much, I don't want to say guarantee because it's been 90%. The last 2 years, it's been 90% non-residents with 2 points have gotten their tag. 3 guarantees it. 3 is a lock. But 2 points guarantees it. And I really like looking at this now for the next few years because here's why. In 2023, there was around 30,000 non-resident applicants in the draw. The number of applicants actually went down in 2024. It went to 29,000. So there's actually been less non-resident applicants in Montana. And like I said, the draw success for an elk tag is staying at 90%. So I would still bank on absolutely the next couple years to that still hold true. It's only going to be 2 points to pretty much get an elk tag in Montana. Don't quote me as gospel, but again, I would set up a strategy for this, and then if years to come things change, we change then. But this year, we're addicted to Western hunting. I would buy a Montana point. So let's recap. 2026, we archery hunted elk in Colorado. 2027, we archery elk hunted in Idaho. Didn't even have points. Don't even know anything about the point system at all. But we picked up 1 elk point and deer point in this 2027 year in April when that happens. So now 2028, we cashed in on that 1 deer point to draw a Colorado archery deer tag. And that was our hunt in 2028. We also bought a Montana preference point for $100. And then, of course, while we were in this draw for Colorado archery deer, we bought another elk point. Probably can't read that. But now, here's where we're at in 2029. We have 1 Montana point, 2 elk points, and we're back to 0 for archery deer. Again, you can always go back to the Idaho system. But maybe at this point, it's all different and discombobulated. We'll just work with what we've built. So now in 2029, here's what I would do. Colorado and Montana are different in the fact that Colorado, at the time of the draw, whatever points you have, that's what you got. So say we picked up our second elk point and the draw is coming up, that's when we go into the draw with 2 points. But Montana's a little bit different. So this Montana, in 2029, we're going to go hunt elk. Montana, archery, elk, with 2 points. And it's like, how did we get 2 points if we only bought 1 the year before? Well, Montana's different in the fact that when we go into that draw in Montana, again, this is also in April. You're going to have to check on these days when they come around. In April, if you have a point from the following year, when you go into the draw and you're submitting your application, you buy your point. You can buy another point then. So if you have 1, you buy 1 in 2028, you go into the 2029 draw, and you also check a box that says also buy a preference point, you go in with 2 points. And like I said, 2 points right now in Montana pretty much is a slam dunk for an elk tag. 90%. That's the game we're playing. We'll take it. So we draw. So 2029, we hunt archery elk in Montana. Sweet. We've just hunted 4 straight years, 1 year for mule deer, and 3 for elk. All archery hunts. And that's also kind of what I'm catering this video to. So now, in 2030, we go back to 0 in Montana. from 2029, we're back to 0 in Montana. We elk hunted. We killed a great 6x6. It was awesome. We bought another mule deer point, because why not, in Colorado, and we bought another elk point in Colorado. So now we have 3 elk points in Colorado. And sure, we bought the one in, sure, I'll write it down, 1 deer in Colorado. So 2030 now, we got 3 elk points. I would put in Colorado archery elk again. Now, here's the thing. In 2030, what takes you 3 points then might only have taken you like 1 or 2 points like in today's world, in 2025, 2026. That's the point creep. Really? Probably what takes 1 point would take 3. I don't know what the future holds in 23, but if I had 3 elk points and I had nothing else better to do, I would be confident in there's an elk hunt to be had in Colorado for sure. So we cash in on the 3 elk points. We hunt Colorado archery elk, and there you go. You can keep buying your Montana. You can buy another deer, and again, we're still learning all these years. Maybe then we're looking at Wyoming and we're buying points, Utah, Nevada, whatever you want to do. But I just wanted to keep this really simple for the average guy. First 2 years, you don't have to worry about points. You don't have to worry about nothing. That's a realistic, pretty high odds, pretty slam dunk of getting tags for the first 2 years. You're hunting elk in Colorado in 2026, elk in Idaho 2027. 2028, we cash in on that 1 mule deer point. We hunt archery deer in Colorado. And then 2029, we cash in on the general elk tag with 2 points. And then in 2030, we hunt Colorado archery elk again, and we burn those 3 points. So we really didn't have to figure out anything about points for the first 2 years. Then as we go and we're learning, we're figuring out what points means and the systems, and that will come with time if you just keep learning and going. Maybe I'll make more content on that. But here we go. The next 5 years, you got 4 archery elk hunts, and you got 1 archery deer hunt. Just amazing hunts. You're in Colorado, Idaho, Montana, back to Colorado, 3 different states, 5 years. A whole plan that's real world, high probability you'd get these tags. It's just all part of the game. You need to learn it. You need to take action now. I talk to so many guys that say, yeah, one day I'll hunt the West. I promise you, if you keep sitting on your hands, by 2030, this is going to look completely different. And you're losing all that time of experience over these next 5 years. They're only going to help you when you draw a better elk tag in 2030. So do all these hunts you can, become a student, become a better hunter. Hopefully you do find success, and then you understand the points, you're building points, you're setting yourself up for the future. Because if you're not doing that, you're going to fall behind. And if you want to start here, I don't know how easy it'll be to get that, like the Idaho elk tag we talked about by then, or any other over-the-counter opportunity. I don't know. Things change every year. Lastly, here's what I wanted to mention. Here's a great little nugget that will save you these next 5 years if something doesn't work out. Fallbacks. So here's opportunity for fallback options. As of 2025. I know these all might change, but bear with me. Fallback number 1. OTC elk, Colorado. Okay, so as of today, there are still tags you can buy at Walmart in Colorado, and you can go rifle hunt elk in Colorado. So no more of that for the archery hunting. That was a thing for non-residents for forever, but now you can't do that. But so right now, literally on your way there, you can go into Walmart and buy a tag to hunt elk, to hunt them in the rifle season. So that's a fallback as of right now, if any of these don't work out how we painted the picture. Another fallback, OTC spring bear. So Idaho, Montana, some of these western states really have some fun hunts that they're getting more popular, but as of right now, there's still a ton of OTC opportunities, meaning, again, you can just buy it online, buy it wherever as a non-resident, go out and just do it. No points, nothing. Like I said, great opportunities in the West to hunt spring bear. It's essentially the same hunt. You're hunting a big game animal, and it can be, frankly, just as fun as any of these other hunts we laid out here. And then finally, a scouting trip. Now, people might give me crap for this, but hear me out. If you fail on maybe this first year, you didn't quite figure out everything I was talking about today for this first year, you missed the deadline, you missed that December day, or maybe even the second year, you kind of screwed this up, you missed the draws, and you didn't get that Idaho tag, but you've now been doing some research, and you kind of want to figure out where to go and everything. Scouting trip. Maybe take some of that time off you get from work, 5 days, just head out in the mountains for a week, and treat it like a real hunt. Bring all the gear you want to use, your boots, all the food you're going to eat, run the same shelter, bring your spotter, and you're going to learn so much more about how to maximize your hunting time and really just animal behavior. You're going to learn access in the unit. Like, try to find maybe a unit that you've been looking at. Maybe there was an elk zone in Idaho that you looked at that first year and you're trying to get to, but you didn't get it. So you think you're going to try again next year. Take that time, go on that scouting trip in August. You're going to learn so much about access, animal behavior, being a better woodsman, all these things. And it's like anything, guys. If you're falling in love with the process, not just the grip and grin, and trust me, I want the big grip and grin with the 6x6 every year if I can, just like the next guy. But I think what separates the really good hunters from the average hunters is they love everything about it. They love the mountains, they love the adventure, they love all the gear, they love spending time out there. So if you can get out there and fall in love with all that, you're going to learn from all the mistakes you make, even on that scouting trip, about where to set up your tent, how to get water. You're going to have gear that doesn't work right, and then you're going to upgrade that. You're going to change things. You're going to find what works better. You're going to pay attention to the animals that you do see. Where are they living? Where are they eating? What's some commonalities between everything? You're going to learn so much, and you're also setting yourself up for success in these future years because you're getting those reps. You're getting those at-bats. Treat it like a real hunt. I don't know. That's just me. I haven't heard people talk about this, but I have done this before. In 2023, I had 3 weeks off work. I spent 2 of those weeks actually on my hunt. I drew a Colorado mule deer tag, and that was for October. The other week of that year, because I don't do anything else, my vacation goes to stuff like this. Anyway, I took that other week I had, and I drove out to Colorado by myself and spent a week scouting that unit that we were going to come back and hunt in October. I learned so much more about mule deer. I learned the access in the area. I learned where I couldn't get to. I learned so much about my gear and all these things. It built a lot more confidence in myself, and it paid off because we went back there in October, and I killed a great buck, and my dad killed a forky. So it was definitely worth it. I don't know. That's just me. I haven't heard people mention this, but I think a good scouting trip is just like an investment that you can really set yourself up for long term. But that's just the third fallback. Like I said, there's rifle hunts in Colorado. If you still just be like, I just want a tag in my pocket, though. That's fine. Over-the-counter rifle and elk in October. Over-the-counter spring bear in Idaho and Montana. And maybe check around for some other opportunities. But that's it, guys. This is a realistic 5-year plan on how to get a tag to hunt the West every year. These are all archery hunts. Look, we're going to 3 different states here. We're hunting elk 4 times. 2028, I said, let's get a deer tag, but Colorado, Idaho, Montana, back to Colorado. And these are all just simple tags to get. First 2 years, like, we're not even thinking about points or anything like that. These are just no point options. And then as we go, as we learn and become more of a student, we're listening to podcasts, connecting with other guys that have done this before, this whole time over the next 5 years, then we're learning points. And then that's when I threw in here, maybe in year 2 or 3, we're starting to pick up a point or 2 in all the states. And these things come with time. Just be a student. Keep learning. You're going to figure out these systems, because I can guarantee you one thing. If you keep sitting on your hands, and I talk to so many guys that are like, one day I want to hunt the West, one day I want to go. I agree with all the naysayers. It is getting harder. So you have to take action now. You have to start doing something. Learn the game, head out there, fall in love with the process. buy points, talk to people, become a student. There's a ton of great podcasts you can listen to, a ton of great online resources. My podcast, Run the Rack Outdoors, we talk about all this kind of stuff, how to hunt the West, how to get tags and everything. You can find it on Spotify, Apple, this YouTube channel. I have the video versions there as well. Just become a student, guys. That's really the magic. Don't listen to the people that are saying it's impossible to get a tag and all the pressure, blah, blah, blah. Yes, all these things are making it harder, but there's still great opportunities to hunt in the West. I'm passionate about this because they've done wonders for me. I absolutely love doing these trips, and I want to share that to others, and I want to help others who maybe have that drive to go do it themselves. So please, if you have any questions, any other recommendations, maybe what's one of your good fallback options or anything else I left off this list. I know there's a bunch of other things with bonus points and different things. I just wanted to keep things simple. Just simple for the blue-collar guy coming from out of state that just needs to get in the game, just to get going. I don't want to overwhelm people. But anything else I missed, throw it in the comments. Any other good fallback options, throw them in the comments. And if you're a new guy just trying to figure out what to do here and you still have questions, feel free to leave a comment and ask. You can send me a DM via my Instagram, just my name, @Weston Homa. You can go to my online website blog, runtherackoutdoors.com. You can fill out a message me thing there. Whatever, guys, I'm happy to help anybody, any questions or anything. This is a real world 5-year plan that anybody can work. So here you go, guys. You got the plan, now work the plan. Again, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. See you next time. Hey, if you liked that episode, please share it with a friend, share it on your story, and give the podcast a rating and a review on wherever you listen. For more of this type of content, you can head over to the YouTube channel and follow along on all the social platforms. Really appreciate it. See you on the mountain.